Now on to predictability as one of the 4 principles of TRI. Unpredictability is a characteristic of a traumatic experience. It's something that's unpredictable. And so we really emphasize and incorporate a sense of predictability in our classes and our trainings to counteract this characteristic of trauma. And let me tell you how. Predictability in a trauma-informed space involves creating a structured and consistent environment with clear boundaries and routines. There are a few ways that we do this in a TRI class, but first we'll just go through some of the basics of what it means and how it can affect the experience of people to have a sense of predictability. First, it fosters safety, trust, and empowerment among individuals who've experienced trauma, and honestly, just the average person. It's really comforting to know what to expect and what will happen next, regardless of your experience with trauma, in my opinion, but especially if you've experienced trauma, knowing what's coming next is really comforting. Predictability helps to regulate emotions, reduce triggers, and reduce anything that could cause unnecessary distress or especially re-traumatization. If something unexpected happens, that could, even in a yoga class that's, supposedly seemingly safe environment, something unexpected could really shake someone up or throw them off, let's say. By minimizing these unexpected changes, it creates a safer space for healing and learning coping skills and just absorbing the science that we're sprinkling in throughout the class as a TRI instructor, as well as absorbing the experience. Predictability also promotes emotional regulation and establishes respectful boundaries for individuals' comfort and preferences. So, how do we cultivate a sense of predictability in a TRI class? There are a few really important ways that we focus on. First, the trauma recovery yoga sequence, whether it be the full class, the chair class, or the kids class, is the same sequence every time. While, of course, each different instructor will have their own style, they'll, describe things a different way and maybe choose a couple optional postures that another instructor wouldn't. The main sequence is the same every time. And that is so if you are in the United States and you take a TRI class, and then you come here to Iraq and you take a TRI class, you know what to expect. It should generally be the same class. And that really helps people feel more confident as they're practicing. We have a lot of participants here that are first-time yoga practitioners. It's the very first time they've rolled out a yoga mat. And in our TRI programs here, where we teach the same group of participants for 8 or 10 weeks, it's an incredible experience to witness the group in the very first class having a really physical experience. They're just trying to figure out what to do. They're looking around, maybe pushing themselves a little too hard, and watching how week after week that moves from a physical experience to a more mental experience. It becomes a moving meditation because their body, after just a few classes, knows what's coming next. They know what to expect. And by, halfway through these programs, or just for any student who's coming to a TRI class regularly, after 5 or 6 weeks, they're really confident in the practice. And that is an aspect of empowerment that we really try to cultivate as well. And that is possible only by providing a sense of predictability. As well, we, at the beginning of a TRI class, as an instructor, we will tell the participants what we will and won't do. So this is also elaborated upon in the TRI teacher introduction video. But for example, I would say, I'd say a little bit about myself, about the class, And then here's what we will and won't do in the class. So I will not walk around the room. I will not touch anyone. I won't turn off the lights. I won't play music or burn incense. I will guide you throughout the practice. I'll micro cue, won't leave you in silence for more than about 10 seconds. I will practice at the front of the room, so you can always look up at me as a visual point of reference. And I will teach in a tutorial way, weaving in the science of what's happening in your body and why you may feel this or that in a certain posture. And I will continue to remind you of your power of choice. It is your body, it's your yoga, your choice, the pace and intensity at which you want to choose today. If you want to lay in child's pose for 20 minutes, that's totally fine. It is yoga, and I won't suggest that you do anything differently. So by providing these ground rules, we call them, at the beginning of the class, students have a much better idea of what to expect and the tone of the class. I hope this was informative. In some ways, we can provide a better sense of predictability in a tri class and also in whatever sessions you're doing outside of tri. If you're working with groups of people or even one-on-one, thinking about how you can just tell them maybe before you start an activity what you will and what you won't be doing, what they can expect in that session or during that day, and see how people respond. Maybe they feel even just a little bit more comfortable. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video.